Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are watching us from. My name is Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for the Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business enterprise as well as personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that can help us to throw more insight into the topic of the day. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are very welcome. The topic today is a burning topic, not only for us in Nigeria, I think even globally, and that is navigating harsh economic landscape. In recent times, we have witnessed unprecedented challenges which has reshaped global economic landscape, and if I wanted to bring it home, has reshaped Nigerian economic landscape to a very large extent, I might add. This is from market volatility to rising inflation, supply chain disruption, and shifting economic dynamics. Some people would even say that what we are experiencing has defied all known economic theories. The world is faced and is still facing myriad of obstacles that have tested the resilience and adaptability of businesses, individuals, and even governments alike. So it is crucial to acknowledge that there are challenges. These challenges are daunting, no doubt. However, as we always say, some of these challenges also provide avenues of opportunities for us to innovate and also to grow, as well as transform our businesses for greater heights. So navigating these turbulent times requires a lot of understanding of the complex economy, that the economic forces that are at play, as well as being proactive to identify and leverage on new strategies for successes. In our own climb, both small businesses and even big businesses are complaining, not to talk of individuals. And we know what is going on right at this moment in our economy. When people go out to protest bad governance, the underpinning factor is the harsh economic reality. People are not able to make ends meet as before. Businesses are dying, and like some will say, there is hunger in the land. I will quickly add, this is not limited to Nigeria alone. That's why we are looking at it, the harsh economic on a global scale. Whether you are a small business owner or a policy maker, like people in government, or entrepreneur, or just a concerned citizen, today's discussion aims to equip you with the knowledge and tools that you will need to make informed decisions on how to navigate the challenges we are facing and possibly other challenges that may be ahead of us. So I hope that this session will inspire meaningful dialogue and spark that innovative solution that will help us all to weather these challenging times. So once again, I would like to say thank you for being here as I look forward to an engaging and enlightening session. Please remain connected. Our guest is already in the house. We'll be right back.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Owen University Iwo was our first choice. Owen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salome. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Boma University. To the medical world, remember my name.
Bowen University, for excellence and godliness.
Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. Here's the 7 lessons we can learn from the geese. Number 1, sharing a common goal. As each goose flaps its wings, it creates uplift and aerodynamics orientation that reduces air friction for the birds that follow. By flying in a V formation, the whole flock achieves a 70% greater flying range than if each bird flew alone. Lesson: people who share a common direction and goal can get where they are going quicker and with less effort because they benefit from the momentum of the group moving around them. Make sure your team is aligned towards a common goal. Number 2, increasing visibility. Flying in a V formation increases the visibility as every goose can see what's happening in front of them. The lesson here is to make our organizations visible in both org chart directions. Having top-down visibility enables leaders to stay connected with the edges of the organization to make better informed decisions. Bottom-up visibility enables teams to see the bigger picture, engages them, and empowers them to better align themselves with the organizational objectives. If we have as much sense as a goose, we will stay in formation, joining those heading in the direction we want to go. The sense of community emerges with a willingness to work as a team. Not only is it more efficient, the flock together has better visibility of its surroundings and is more visible as a collective. Number 3, having humility to seek help. When a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the friction of flying alone. It then quickly adjusts its mistake and moves back into the formation to take advantage of the lifting power of the bird immediately in front of it. Lesson: be humble to admit the challenges we face and to seek help as soon as we get stuck. This humility will enable you and your team to move faster and achieve more. If we have the sense of a goose, we will openly and confidently acknowledge when we need help and gratefully accept the support that is offered, and will fly harder to stay up with the flock so we can all go longer distances with ease. Number 4, empowering others to lead. When the lead goose in the front gets tired, it rotates back into the formation and allows another goose to take the leadership position. Lesson: empower others to also lead. Micromanaging and keeping tight control will burn you out. It will also disengage and demotivate others around you. People have unique skills, capabilities, and gifts to offer. Give them autonomy, trust, and a chance to shine, and you will be surprised with the outcomes. Number 5, always recognizing great work. The geese honk to recognize each other and encourage those up front to keep up their speed. Lesson: make sure we praise people and give them the recognition they deserve. Lack of recognition is one of the main reasons team members are unsatisfied at work and quit. It's very common for people.
You are welcome back. Thank you for staying connected. We have a guest that is supposed to shed more insight for today's topic, but I think the network is playing up in the meantime. So we'll go through this topic while we await the input from our guests. Like I said in my opening remark, this topic is a very important one for all of us, either as business leaders, entrepreneurs, or even government. It's important because we all face economic hardship, and the current situation is something that concerns all. So we need to look at what can we adduce to the reasons for this economic hardship. Yet, like in our own climate, some people would say it was born out of government policy, but at the end of the day, what does it mean to each one of us? When we talk of harsh economic climate, we are talking of high inflation, we are talking of economic downturn, we are talking of high unemployment rates, and also reduced gross domestic product growth. It's just like when we had pandemic, the tension that we went through in terms of economic downturn. And the same thing goes for when there's a natural disaster on the economy. So all this amount to what we term as harsh economic landscape, when you are not able to make ends meet, and when businesses are no longer flourishing as they're supposed to flourish, and even some businesses go under due to inability to meet up their liabilities. So these are examples of what we can relate economic hardship to. Economic hardship for business owners include the decrease in consumer spending and its effect on various aspects of our businesses. Businesses are established for growth. No business wants to remain static. So when you have decreased customer or consumer spending, as the case may be, it will be difficult for your business to grow. That is one of the direct effects. There will be supply chain disruption. If you are in business, obviously you have some supply chain that will affect your business. There will be disruption, and if there are disruption in this supply chain, then you have rising costs of raw materials, because perhaps only fewer people have the material, and the challenge of increasing the price will come in. There will be increase in competition, and therefore that would call also for the need for innovation. So those are challenges that businesses face in terms of economic hardship. Then you can now think of how do we combat this economic hardship. We cannot just throw up our hands in the air and give up. Like they say, quitters don't win and winners never quit. We must evolve strategies that will enable us to overcome or at least manage during the time of economic hardship as we have currently globally and particularly in our country, Nigeria. Some of the measures would, of course, include cost cutting. We have to devise a cost cutting measures in order to make sure that we limit our expenditure. This same advice goes to the government, as you may have heard during this protest period and even before the protest come on, that government should devise cutting measures and maybe reduce the cost of governance, which is the same thing. So the same thing goes for our businesses. We have to streamline operations to find a way of reducing overhead. Those are the costs, the direct costs that could quickly make a business go under. We also have to think out of the box to find excuse me, to find a way of diversification of the products and services that we render. We must look for opportunity to tap to new markets. The same way it applies to government also. We have been talking about Nigeria not depending on oil alone. To find other ways of generating this hard currency that gives our own currency the backing in terms of value. So it's the same way diversification is recommended for business owners during the time of harsh economic landscape. Excuse me. Then we also must try and leverage on technology, as we have come to realize that sometimes most of the things that we slave hours on end to do at a very high cost, and they are just routine things that technology, through the use of technology, we can achieve in minutes. That will also help us to reduce our costs by leveraging on technology and digital transformation in order to improve efficiency and even increase our production. So these are strategies for businesses to overcome or manage through the harsh economic landscape. It's also important for businesses and individuals, I would say, to ensure that they maintain liquidity and manage their cash flow. This is very, very key, because if you do not have, you may have a lot of money in terms of assets and non-liquid assets and all that. But where you need liquid funds or assets that you cannot easily get funds to pay, maybe settle your debt, pay suppliers or workers, it can be very challenging. So we need to balance our liquidity to make sure that at every point in time we remain liquid and ensure that we are able to meet our liabilities. That is the management of cash flow now. Then we also must look at other financing options. How do we assess other financing options during the harsh economic landscape? So those are things that will help us to keep our liquidity in check and manage our cash flow. The investment in assets that can provide stability during uncertain times is another way to make sure that we overcome erosion of our assets or value of what we have. As we know, keeping cash both at hand or in bank at this present time does not make meaningful sense, because the inflationary rates in the economy would erode the value quickly, more quickly than even the interest that you may be getting from the bank if you are thinking of saving. So it's very important to look at other viable investment opportunity where we can tie down uh, uh, extra funds or cash resources. We also need to adapt to changing consumer behavior. Shifts in consumer priorities, such as focusing on essential goods and services. At this present, I will pause and take the contribution from one of our online viewers, Dr. Asen, has just posted. Economic hardship for businesses is mainly caused by macroeconomic policies over which entities have little control, e.g., interest rates, like I've mentioned, inflation, ability of banks to lend, tax policies, etc. To survive, business must learn to be agile. Thank you very much for that contribution. Part of the agility is thinking out of the box, devises other strategies to stay afloat during harsh period. Yes, we are not in control of the policies that may have landed us in this problem, but we just have to find a way of maneuvering to make sure that we stay alive in quotes. Our business survive through the hardship period, and that is why all the advice that we have been given comes in. Cost cutting, diversification, leveraging on technology, digital transformation, as well as maintaining the balance of liquidity and managing your cash flow, doing other investments that can give you value for any extra fund that you have. Thank you very much, Dr. Asen. I was also saying that we need to adapt to shift in consumer priorities, such as the focus on essential goods and services. This is not the time that you just follow the Joneses to go and invest in a business that you may not know how to maneuver your ways. And no matter how harsh the economy is, there are still some essential goods and services that people will still demand, because for them to stay alive, you need, like food business. Food business can never, you can never go wrong with food business, and some essential daily needs that people will need, either they are poor or facing economic hardship. They have to eat, they have to have these essentials. So that is another way of combating this harsh um, economic landscape. Then we need to adapt to market strategies to connect with new customers in order to grow our customer base. The more you grow your customer base, the more income you generate, the more growth that you have for your business. Then for our workforce, which is another important consideration, since we cannot do this alone, obviously we need to have people on this journey with us to make our business to survive. So for the workforce, we need to balance the cost cutting that we said with the need to retain talent. You must at this point identify your good hands. We all know that the nuances of the different employees that we have or partners. So those that you know that are good talent, this is the time to ensure that you do your best to balance the need for cost cutting with the need to uh, encourage such people to stay with you during this harsh period so that you don't lose out on your talented workforce. You can also find a way of introducing flexible work arrangements or remote work option. That is another way to encourage those working with us to remain with us without having to pay too much, because they can, with their free time, they can also do other things, and that can make them to give consideration on staying on with you. We must at this point, it's like a twin-edged sword, invest in employee development and mental health support, developing our employee, training them, as well as maintaining their mental health is very key at this very harsh period, because some people, all they, it's just a little thing that will tip them off the edge, and that will affect our business. We have another contribution from Dr. Aseyin. Companies which largely source raw materials from abroad should seek local alternative sources. This will help them reduce cost of production. Very true, very true. When we talk of diversification, that also involve uh, sources of our raw materials or suppliers. These days, we are encouraged to look within, where we have more control and flexibility, and then maybe look for alternative materials if what your input depends on before is largely on importation. Find a local option to replace that. That will also ensure continuity of your business. Thank you very much, Dr. Asei, for that great insight. Then on government policy, well, for the government, they will be hearing support. We have been hearing of stimulus packages and support program. The point some businesses, especially small businesses, are saying, how many are these stimulus packages going round? How many people have received this for it to achieve the desired effect? Yes, government have been trying, but has it really been going around? Is that the only other option to reach the generality of citizens in the country? Because when you choose certain people, some will be neglected, and especially where policy of distribution of just cash. For me, I still find that a bit odd, because people will spend the cash. What happens? You continue to give cash. That does not encourage production. It does not grow economy. And some small businesses are striving. They are striving. They are suffering in trying to make ends meet, to be able to pay the employees that are working for them, because the cost of things are just skyrocketing, and They are not able to make ends meet. So that is one area government needs to look at, how effective and inclusiveness of the policy. It should not be directed to just few people. It should be something that will go round, especially small businesses, which has been acknowledged worldwide that they are the engine growth of any viable economy. These small businesses should be assisted, and there must be a strategy that would the government should deliberately make effort in that line to reach these small businesses. So, but if you know of any government stimulus as a business that you know you can be entitled to, because there are conditions too, please avail yourself of any both local aid and the international aid and other incentives, so that your business survive through this harsh period. So you can look out for such aid, because like we said, it's not everybody that is getting it, and sometimes you also have to make effort on your own part to know what is available out there and know how to source for this support, because it may not just come on a platter of gold or come to your doorstep without effort. So that is another way to help our business to survive this harsh time. Then we also must lend our voices as business owners, small business owners, in terms of advocacy for policies that can support economic recovery and business resilience. So whatever advice, we should not just criticize government. Okay, government is not doing this, they are not doing that. What do we think government should do that will help solve this problem? Let us make suggestions. Let us provide solution, suggest solution for government, in order to we help government in order to help us. So that is another way of getting the required support to pushing the effect of harsh economic landscape. Then we said, yes, things might be very tight, and we all acknowledge it, that is very difficult, but in between that difficult um, landscape, opportunity also appears. It's just for us to make sure that we locate, or we identify such opportunities. So we must be able to identify emerging markets out of the current happenings in the country and even globally. Like I said, we must be able to identify what opportunity can we take, or can we latch on with even the current situation that will give us growth potential. Then we should look at how to innovate. How do we do business differently from what we used to do and still get a better result? Like Dr. Asen was telling us that some businesses that depend on importation should look inward. So that's part of innovation. Things that we need imported raw material for, can we find an alternative in the country to help us continue our businesses without compromising quality, of course. Like somebody said, yes, it's bad that some big companies are exiting Nigeria because of the harsh economic climate. But it is an opportunity for those that are in similar businesses that are just growing, maybe medium level. It's an opportunity for them to grow. Excuse me. So we can look at it that way, that even that in that bad situation, there could be positive aspects for our business. We just need to uh, look out and think out of the box. And some people say even you may not even have a box at all. So think without a box. So don't always think it must be within the box or out of box. There may be no box at all, but you still think. Then we need to look at sustainability and social responsibility in all our business strategies. Business must be sustainable before we can think of growth. And then each business also has social responsibility. How socially responsible are we to our environment where we carry on our businesses? So that should be part of what we should look at as opportunities out of the challenges that we're facing. Then we need to start planning, long-term planning and resilience. It's important to build a resilient business model that can withstand future shocks, because it's not a cause. This will not be the last time we are going to face crisis. When we faced crisis during the pandemic, people are lamenting, we have not seen this before. And of course, you have seen some before in a different uh, form. Okay, we have a contribution from our online audience, Mr. Femi Jaisimi. He's advising us to that we should stay informed and make data-driven decisions to overcome this economic hardship. That is very true. No guesswork, no rule of the thumb. When you have a backed up decision, data backed up decision, you can be as accurate as possible. You be very precise, and that would help you to hit the target, or like they say, bullseye. So it is important. That is part of the beauty of technology, that we say we rely on technology. It is important for us to stay informed by making sure that we rely more on data-driven decisions. That is, there are empirical data that will give us a basis for taking a particular decision or deciding to go a different way. Thank you very much, Mr. Jayesimi, for that beautiful contribution. Then we have, like I said, we must be able to plan and build resilient business model that will withstand future shocks. Strategic planning and scenario analysis also will help us to prepare for various economic outcomes. Don't just stick to one way. What if we do it this way? What if we do it another way? Have 2 or 3 scenarios and then be able to choose the best out of those scenarios that will give you a maximum result, or better result. So let us try to put that in our strategic planning. We must also foster a culture of adaptability and continuous improvement. Adaptability also speaks to what Dr. Asen talked about businesses being agile. So we must be ready to adapt. Things are changing, no doubt. Are you going to remain stuck in your old ways, even when everything is changing around you? Of course not, because you cannot make headway if you stick to old ways. You must look at what other ways can I do what I used to do this way, just like other things that like I said, we spend hours on end or weeks to do, that are routine work. But with the advent of technology, we do them in minutes, and that helps us a lot. So we must be adaptable. We must be ready to change. We must be ready to embrace change in the way and manner we do our businesses, in order to overcome the effect of harsh economic landscape. So we also need to be proactive. Don't wait until that thing hits your business. If you already see that the business fortune is going down gradually, don't wait until you are at the rock bottom. You must find a way of navigating the economic landscape How do you overcome? How do you get out of it? How do you survive? The importance of collaboration in this wise cannot be overemphasized. Don't think that it has to just be you alone. You can collaborate, and in collaborating with other in collaborating with other people of similar business, in collaborating with other people in similar business, you'll be able to achieve more, and then at lower cost. Sorry. So you'll be able to achieve more at a lower cost. So let us collaborate more with other people of similar business interests. Then it can also help us in overcoming community support when we collaborate with others in that community. We have to have a cautiously optimistic outlook for recovery and growth in the long term. The reason being that, yes, as harsh as it is, we want it to happen overnight. The harshness of this climate, of this economic climate, did not happen overnight. It started gradually, and it crept on us, but we also have to be patient that gradually, with all the measures that we have been talking about, we'll be able to overcome the hardship, and not believe that you should just go overnight. So in conclusion, I would want to opine that to navigate a harsh economic landscape, it demands resilience, adaptability, and a proactive approach. While challenges may be daunting, they also present opportunities for growth and innovation. By staying informed, making strategic decisions, and remaining flexible, individuals and businesses can not only survive but thrive in difficult times. As we continue to face economic uncertainty, let us remember the power of collaboration, creativity, and perseverance, so that together we can chart a course through these challenging times and emerge stronger on other side. We have an addition from one of our online audience. In addition, unnecessary free space in the office should be put to earn income. That is very good, Taiwo. Taiwo Ojo. Taiwo Ojo, streaming from US. Thank you very much, Taiwo, for that great contribution. What that is telling us, that we have said we should look at other means of any income or overcoming cash flow problem or liquidity. That's another way. If you have something, not only office space, if you have something that you are not putting to good use, why don't you let it out or sell it? Don't just keep it idle. And it could even be a wasting asset. Some people that are fond of putting amounting cars, that is a wasting asset. This is the time, the car that you are not using, this is the time to sell it off, unless if it's useful to you. I'm not saying just sell your car off. If it's extra one, I'm not saying you have to have a car to be mobile. So thank you very much, Taiwo. We have another contribution from Dr. Asen. He said, based on scientific data, scenario planning can be done to determine policy option. Very true. We said it that it's always advisable to have 2 or 3 scenarios, so that you gives you option. You just don't jump at the very first one, and then you are midway through implementing that, and you now discover that, oh, I could have done this thing this other way, which is even working out cheaper. So let us put that as part of our plan, our strategic plan, that we design scenarios. Okay, this is one scenario if we do it this way. If I remove this and put this one, this is another scenario, and plot those scenarios and look at the one that gives you a better outcome, a better result. So that's another way of overcoming this harsh economic climate. It's been I'm sorry, the guest that was to shed more insight on this topic for us had challenges, the technological challenge. She was not able to connect with her devices. So, but I appreciate all of you that have joined me in making this, shedding this insight with your contribution. And it's very useful for others to have other perspective on the topic at hand. I want to appreciate you all. Taiwo Ojo, our regular viewer, joined us today from US. Dasaolu also Comfort. Dasaolu also joined us from Lagos. Aderito joined us from Lagos. Dr. Aseyi from Abuja. Mr. Afemi Jaisimi, all contributing today. Thank you very, very much for your great contribution. Please don't lose hope. The economy is tight, no doubt. Like we have said, if you can use some of these tips that we have shared today, we'll be able to overcome. Tough times do not last long. Only tough people do. So be one of those tough people and remain resilient. Make sure that you do all there is within your power to sustain your business, to ensure the sustainability of your business so that you can bounce back when the economy also rebounds. So once again, I want to appreciate all our online audience, even our guests that had made spirited effort to join us. I want to appreciate you. I understand that is one of those things that happen once in a while with the technology. And I appreciate particularly the contribution from Dr. Aseyi, Taiwo Ojo, Mr. Femi Jaisimi. I appreciate you for your contribution. So I hope you have all enjoyed today's episode, even without our guest. If so, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. And once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about the upcoming events and solutions, as well as offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let us continue to strive for excellence in our businesses to ensure that we overcome the economic hardship. I must also add my appreciation to Mrs. Wendy Garuba Ayeni. She was one of the first callers. Thank you very much, my sister, for joining us today. I hope you have gained insight from this. Thank you very much. Next session, we'll meet again. Please continue to approach with faith, renewed hope, and energy to sustain your business. Thank you. God bless you.